Okay, so we just saw a video on the artist Elizabeth Murray, and one of the main things she is well known for is painting um, on irregular canvases, almost to the point that it's a sculpture that she's painting on. So she doesn't traditionally paint on a flat surface or canvas. So I'm going to show you an example of how you can take your paper and sort of turn it into a sculpture to be painted on. And you can paint on it after you turn it into a sculpture or before. Really, it's up to whatever you kind of want to play with. But what I did here, as you can see, I have all these cuts of the paper here. What cutting the paper does is, other than make it a little bit more interesting this way, is it provides the paper more movement. It's not as stiff. And the way that I did this, you might be able to tell here, is that I just folded the paper like this and then made the cuts this way. And I'm going to do that on this side as well. Only this time I'm going to leave more space in between the cuts that I make. So to be honest, right now I have no idea what this is going to turn into or be. I just know that sort of manipulating the paper in this way provides for more opportunities and options as far as the flexibility of the paper. So there are a couple different things. Now that we have these cuts, you can play with alternating your folds. You know, these ones come out, maybe send some of these back. You can even fold them on the edges here and here to create space in your paper. You can alternate those things. And now just in doing that, we've already created more of a three-dimensional canvas, so to speak, with which to do our painting on. So there's one option. There's these here. You could actually cut some of these off to create literal holes or spaces. Another thing is when you're bending your paper, you can, if I was to bend this here, see how it creates sort of this fan and opening. It creates kind of a cool look to your sculpture. And this way, like I said, with these cuts, you can really start bending and folding and manipulating your paper into different forms. Find something that you like. Then you could always use tape. If you're going to use masking tape, you might want to try to hide the tape, like doubling the tape over. Let me show you a quick example of that. So what you would do is say, I wanted to touch this corner to corner, or maybe more interesting to here. If I wanted to attach my paper there so that I have this sort of a roll, you would roll your tape here before attaching it so that you don't see the tape on the outside of your painting. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to give you, see how that interesting sort of feel. You can even, I'm just kind of playing with this, touch it here, and now you've got this sort of an interesting thing going on here. So I will let you kind of play, manipulate. Like I said, one thing you could do is paint it flat first like this, obviously put something underneath it now that we've created holes, and then try to manipulate the paper to make a sculpture out of it just by using tape or a stapler or brads. You could maybe even have moving parts on your pieces, or even cutting parts off and reattaching them to create a more sculptural effect. Anyway, just wanted to show you guys this as an option. I'm going to play with this a little bit more off the recording, and I will post pictures of what happens when I'm done manipulating this. And I can't see what you guys come up with as well.